Have you ever been at a meeting or a get-together and you walk away from the conversation feeling kind of small, like people didn't see you, they didn't appreciate you? Do you ever have people walk all over you? You're doing the extra for them, you're trying to help them out, and instead of appreciating you more, strangely they appreciate you less? If that's you, this video is for you. We're going to teach you how to be bolder, how to have more confidence, get more respect. We're going to teach you specific tools, strategies, and techniques so that people will treat you better across the spectrum. Now, I just gave you a couple examples. There's many, many more, and we're going to help you across that entire spectrum. I want you living the life that you deserve and getting the appreciation you deserve and walking with confidence and power. So let's jump right in. Strangely, one of the reasons people don't treat us very well is that we've kind of accidentally taught them to treat us that way. But it's okay. It's nothing you can't fix, and you're definitely not stuck. This has happened to a lot of people, and we're going to teach you how to beat this challenge, and we're going to give you lots of strategies for how to do this and make you massively successful and get the respect you deserve. We're also going to help you blast those self-doubts, self-fears, and self-recriminations. You are going to have amazing and powerful self-worth. I'm also going to teach you how to have stronger and deeper connections with people where you're truly valued. I'm also going to teach you how to have more control over your feelings and emotions, that you'll be able to handle virtually any situation. And this will be great in virtually every area of your life. I also want you to get in touch with and to feel and to experience your own power so that you feel strong and in control in every situation and can truly feel your own self-worth. I'll also teach you how to stop feeling devalued by others, by no longer letting other people decide your self-worth. You decide your self-worth. And finally, you'll learn how to show people your self-worth and get them to value you, not by demanding it, but by showing it to them. You're going to become more powerful, and it'll be very clear to other people. Now, these aren't complicated ideas. We're going to take you through. We're going to make them fast, simple, and easy. We're going to make them very usable so you can start getting benefit right away. That's our style here, right? So without further ado, let's jump right into the first concept. So here's hack number one, and it's one of the most powerful. You need to respect yourself. You need to respect you. Heck, if you don't respect you, why should I? If you don't respect your time, I'm not going to respect your time. If you don't respect yourself, I'm not going to respect you. If you don't value your own worth, I'm not going to value your worth. People are simply mirroring your image of yourself. And why should they? If you don't set a high standard for you and value yourself, nobody is going to raise your value for you. You have to feel internally that you have powerful value. And you do. You have so much to bring to the table, but they're never going to see it if they don't feel it in your heart, springing from you, that you're strong, you're powerful, and you have so much to give. You respect you. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, hey, Professor Paul, it's a great philosophy. I wish I could just, snap my fingers and make that happen. But can you tell me a little bit more? What would that look like? What do I do? Give me some good orderly direction. Give me some instructions. Well, first thing you need to do is learn how to say no with a big N and a big O, maybe an exclamation point at the end. If you don't value your time, other people aren't going to value your time. You've got to learn how to say no. Otherwise, you're a pushover, and people can easily assess you. They can access you, and you're just easy. Don't be easy. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you only take on those things that you want to take on. Out of what? Out of respect for you. The next thing, this is very important, is don't ever let people take advantage of you. Hey, if I went to a local ice cream parlor and I ordered 2 scoops of ice cream and they gave me 1, hey, I paid for 2 scoops. I wouldn't feel bad. I wouldn't feel guilty about asking for that second scoop. And I wouldn't apologize and say, geez, I don't want to bother you, but there's only 1 scoop here. I'd be like, hey, I ordered 2 scoops. Where's my other scoop? I'm not going to be mean or rude about it, but I'm going to state the facts. Make sure that you don't let you get taken advantage of. If you do, that's your fault, not theirs. You'll blame them. They'll say, oh, you know what so-and-so did to me? They didn't do anything to you. You let them. Here's a pro tip. People poop on you for one reason and one reason only. They crap on you because they can. When they can't, they don't. When they can, they will. Don't let them do it. That's up to you. The next thing is you need to value and protect your relationships. What do I mean by that? Well, value means only hang out with people of value. Like hangs out with like. Losers hang out with losers. Winners hang out with winners. Make sure you're hanging out with the winners. I only hang out with positive people. I have no negative people in my life. I only have people in my life that can benefit me, and I benefit them. That's the way to do it. And I don't let any of those people devalue me. They come into my life to add value to my life, I add value to their life, and everybody wins. Those are the only types of relationships I'll engage in. When somebody doesn't do that, they push a boundary, I push back, up to and including eliminating them. Next thing you need to do is be really, really good to yourself. Your job in life is actually to enjoy life, to make your life better, and then to help other people. Let's look at the first two. Enjoy your life. Don't whine, don't complain, don't worry about stuff, and help yourself. Never work against yourself. One of the reasons people don't respect you is because you're beating yourself up all the time, and that shows up in your face, your words, and your actions. You're always insecure, you're always worried you're not good enough. Who told you aren't good enough? Let's go find those people and slap them a few times. They were absolutely, positively wrong. You have massive value. And you're increasing your value all the time. You're watching videos like this and increasing your value. Now you can go out and teach these skills to other people. You can get so good at it, right? So never let other people devalue you. And that means you are one of those people. Start listening to your own thoughts. Anytime you catch you being mean to you, you've made a logic error. And you need to correct for that. You need to say, hey, brain, stop it. And replace it with something positive. I'm going to tell you, your positive thoughts about you are far more accurate than your negative thoughts about you. They're simply fears, which is false evidence appearing real, also known as a lie. They're a big lie. So let them go. This is just the core of low self-esteem. It's the way in which you talk to yourself. Be very careful what you say in your own mind. Your thoughts create your feelings, create your actions, that creates your destiny. So be very good to you. It's just a great way to live. Your next powerful hack is set good boundaries. Boundaries determine how you're going to be treated by other people. You decide. Think of your house as like the boundaries. The walls are the boundaries. You decide who you let in and who you kick back out. Believe me, if you come into my house, you're going to treat me with dignity and respect. And who do I let into my house? Only my friends. Only the people that are helpful to me. I don't let salespeople in. I don't let other people in. Just the best people. And they're going to act with kindness and love and decency the whole time they're there. Or they're going to get escorted out. That's how you need to treat the people in your life. Setting good boundaries isn't about being mean. It's not about being controlling. It's not about taking over for the other person. It's what you'll accept and what you reject. You're being good to me, I accept that. You're being bad to me, I reject that. I don't care if you're my best friend coming in my house or you're a guy walking by me on the street. Remember, we're constantly teaching people how to treat us. And at the core of that is setting boundaries. It's kind of the rules for how the game's going to be played. I'm always going to be treated with kindness, dignity, and respect. Those are my minimal standards. If for any reason this other person can't do that, then you eliminate them from your life. It becomes very simple. It's not hard to maintain good relationships with good people. They will respect your boundaries. And the bad people, when they don't respect your boundaries, get rid of them Or if you can't get rid of them, say it's a boss or a coworker, at least stand up for yourself. You can ask for normal human dignity and respect, regardless of who the person is. I don't care if it's the President of the United States coming in. They're standing there in front of you, and they start saying blah, 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 blah. They're going up one side of you and down the other. You say, excuse me, Mr. President. Not cool, not acceptable. You're being rude, crude, and unprofessional. It's not okay. You can say that to anybody. It's okay for you to protect your most valuable asset, and that's you. Now, the key is setting clear boundaries. What you'll accept, what you won't accept. Somebody comes over and they start putting their feet on my coffee table. They're eating up all my snacks. They're throwing their wrappers and crumbs on the floor. Yeah, no. You're welcome to the snacks, but let me know when you've eaten the last one. Don't be throwing crumbs and wrappers on the floor. It's not okay. You get in your life what you accept. What you don't accept, you don't get. So set good boundaries. Somebody's kicking my dog, I'm going to be kicking them for a while. Mess with my wife? Well, you had a good run, but now it's over. Okay? Your whole life's over. It's just flashed before your eyes. You have to let people know what's okay and what's not okay and be firm about it. Nobody is more important than you. If anybody ever told you that, they lied. You are the most important person. Now, doesn't mean you're selfish. Selfish means I come first, second, third, and fourth. Caring for self means I come first, but I'll help you second, third, and fourth. Hell, that's generous. But you're number one. Here's hack number 3. Stop saying you're sorry. What are you apologizing for? For existing? For living? For not being as good as everybody else? That's a complete and utter lie. I can remember I had a girlfriend and she mentioned it to me. She said, Paul, why do you always say sorry all the time? And I thought about it for a second. I said, you make me feel sorry. What does that mean? It means don't hang out with people that make you feel bad about yourself. And don't apologize for everything. Instead of saying sorry, say thank you. Say, wait a minute, I need some time. Instead of saying, I'm sorry, but I think this, just say, I think this. Remove the sorry. Anytime you hear sorry, think to yourself that you made a logic error and cut it out next time. Don't be sorry for existing. Be sorry that other people don't treat you with respect. That's the only thing you need to be sorry for. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to be sorry when you truly should be sorry because, hey, I did something wrong. When you're wrong, promptly admit it, give a sincere apology, and then let it go. It shows a lot of character to be able to own up for your mistakes and say that you're sorry, rather than passing it off or letting it go by or being too cowardly to make a simple apology. But don't do it profusely. Do it just enough, be clear, be sincere, and then let it go. That's perfect. Now your next hack is show confidence. Good God, man, sit up straight, throw your shoulders back, chest out, stomach in, like they do in the military. Take up some space. Speak a little louder. Wave your hands. I had a guy, he was British, he said, well, we always have to keep our hands at our side because who knows what would happen if they went way out here. It was the dumbest thing ever, but they're always sitting there, like fig leafing all the time. Why be like that? Guys take up space. Even women, when they come into the room, they can own the whole room. Why not? Who owns that room more than you? Nobody. You're as important as anybody else, and you show it with your gestures and with your confidence. If you're confident, then you take up space, you're breathing full, your chest is full, you walk around the room, you can be here like you own the place. That's bold, that's strong. Now you can sit there and kind of be wimpy, like you got your little tail between your legs and, not really want to look up at people. You know what looks confident and what doesn't look confident. So start noticing how you're doing in these areas in every situation. The next hack is leave a little mystery. Don't tell everybody every single detail of your life, every struggle, every accomplishment, every failure. They don't need to know every damn thing about you. This leaves room for mystery and curiosity, and it gives you a little bit more presence. Sometimes you can even allude to certain things, but then let it go. Let people have a little bit of imagination that there might be more to you than what they see in front of them. Buddha said all things in moderation, including moderation. Every once in a while, Buddha went hog wild. He was a party animal. Well, I didn't know him personally. But share a little bit, but hold a little bit back. Tell people a little bit, but hold a little bit back. Tell them a little bit about your struggles, but don't make them feel like you're constantly struggling. Tell them a little bit about yourself so you can gain a little bit of familiarity, that social interaction, that connection, but don't overshare. I think sharing is a good example of how much you should connect versus how much you shouldn't connect, how much you should share versus how much you shouldn't share. If I'm just meeting you and I say, hi, my name is Professor Paul, and I got a wife and 3 pooches, and I live in scenic St. Petersburg, Florida, great, that's good sharing. If I say, geez, I have erectile dysfunction, and my mother dressed me funny in dresses when I was a child, and I have a teddy bear that I miss, and, I don't know, I'm just making stuff up, but wow, that's oversharing. Little too much, TMI, too much information. Know when to start, when to stop. Keep that nice, delicate balance, and you'll do great. Now, one final tip on sharing. Don't be sharing other people's information, also known as AKA gossiping, which means what? That you're a toxic individual and you have to talk about other people. People who gossip to you will gossip about you. So, don't ever do this. This shows a complete lack of character. You might think, well, it's easier to talk about other people than to talk about myself. No. I talk very little about other people. When I see them do something great, I shout it from the rooftops. And when they do something not so great, right? I take a perfect opportunity to shut up. I let it go. I don't want to gossip about other people. I'd rather be talking about future plans, great things that people did, nice things that happened. Keep things positive. Otherwise, you become the bearer of bad news and people lose respect for you. Nothing will make me lose respect for you quicker than gossiping. Well, almost nothing, right? So don't do it. Here's your next hack, and it's a big one. Always treat your time as valuable. I spend minor time with minor people and major time with major people. People that can't really help me, I don't have much time for them. People that can help me and want to learn and grow and develop and become more, they want to do things in life, I spend major time with those major people. You got to treat your time as valuable. See, life is just a measurement of time. You got a start date and you got an end date. What's in between? A whole bunch of time. Time is your greatest resource because when it's over, you're over. We've only got so many tomorrows. So, always be busy, always be productive. Don't jump when people call you as if, you can just stop whatever you're doing and your time has no value. Even when people do things like they call you or they message you, don't message them back in the next 2 seconds like, your butt is on fire. Give it a few minutes, think, reflect, decide what you're going to say. Call them back 5-10 minutes later. Finish up whatever you're doing and then get back to them. What you're doing is equally, if not more important than whatever they're doing. If you don't respect your time, nobody else will. Here's another great hack. Relax and learn to enjoy the silences. See, in America, if somebody asks us a question, we think that intelligence equals processing speed. So the quicker you can give me the answer, the smarter you are. Now, if you do that to an Asian person, in most Asian cultures, if you're not being thoughtful, you're being thoughtless. And they're right. That's a much better philosophy. If you're not taking time to actually think about and consider intelligently the question I just asked you, you're giving me some rubbish answer that's probably no damn good off the top of your head, and therefore I consider you unintelligent. Think for a minute. When you can enjoy pauses, the average person can't go anything like 3 seconds in a conversation without somebody else saying a word or having a sound come out of their mouth. They become very uncomfortable. They need this constant flow of information and chatting going back and forth. Why? They're not okay internally with just being quiet within themselves. This is why meditation is so important. It teaches you to enjoy and benefit from silence. My buddy Bill, he was a chatty Cathy. He loved to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And that's okay because we'd chat back and forth and, we'd be going blah, 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 blah. We would just be having the best time talking. But at one point, I was out with him and, I was out with him for like 6 hours, and about 5.5 hours in of blah, 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 blah. I got tired of listening to me and I got tired of listening to him. And I'm like, Bill, let's just sit here for a minute and let's look around and let's enjoy the sunshine. I'm not going to talk. You don't talk. And let's just take a moment of peace and serenity. And we just sat there as best friends and just totally enjoyed the beauty and the spirituality of silence. And Bill always remembered that. He said, Paul, I never felt so good and yet so connected to somebody and so at peace that in that 20 minutes, we just sat there. And even though there was somebody else there, we were okay with just doing nothing. Beautiful, beautiful experience. That's how you should feel about it. So people will think you're more thoughtful. You'll be more relaxed. You won't seem as jumpy. You'll seem more reflective. People think it's a little mysterious because you're a little different than the average person. You're not getting overexcited. You don't have this urge and this urgency to speak, which is actually what? It's a weakness, and everybody secretly knows it. So when you're okay with the pauses, you're okay with short silences, and they're not, they know who's stronger. They know. Here's your next hack. Don't ever tolerate bad behavior. Now, I hold my pants up with a black belt. So since I started doing that, it was a lot different, especially when I was in high school. The bullies used to beat me about the head and face. Then I got my black belt and we had a totally different relationship. Matter of fact, I once asked my Kung Fu instructor, I said, we're kind of different than everybody else. What is the difference between us and everybody else? And he thought about it for a minute. He was quietly reflecting. And then he gave a thoughtful answer. He said, Paul, they have no skill and they have no power. As they're standing in front of you, there's two truths. One, you're both alive, but you're alive for different reasons. You're alive because you're powerful and you're in control. They're alive because you and I allow it. The more powerful person allows the other person to live. And I said, wow, that's a wild way to look at it. I would have never come up with that in a million years. That I'm alive because I have the power to keep myself alive and they don't. And the only reason they exist is because I allow it. Now, whenever somebody would yell at me or do this or that, I would sit there. And in the old days, I get nervous, I get scared. I'm like, are we going to get to a fight or something? But then I became deadly calm once I got my black belt. Because I'm like, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter how much you jump up and down and shout like a monkey, I decide if you live or not. That's the ultimate power. Even with a boss, I had a boss that was chewing me out for 45 minutes straight. He went up one side of me and down the other about something that was actually a misconception in his mind. It was a lie. It wasn't even true. He thought I did something I didn't do. But as I'm sitting there in the room and he's going up and down, I tried to talk him out of it for about 30 seconds. Then I realized I was talking to a wall and I became okay with the silence. And he couldn't believe, because he came back and apologized later, he couldn't believe that I sat there for 45 minutes with him just pounding on me. And I was sitting there looking like I was reading the Sunday paper. I'm just looking like this. I didn't care because all he could do was fire me. And I don't care. I'd already had 30 jobs previous to that. I could always get another one. And the second thing was, even though he felt he was powerful and he could sit there and he could yell at me, at the end of the day, I decided if he lived or died, if he got out of that room or not. He just decided whether or not I had a job. But I decided if he lives or dies. That's power. But you always have power in every situation, not to be treated badly. I can always walk away. There's a comedian who told a joke one time, said, oh my God, I just realized you're boring and my legs work and I'm going to walk away now. I just thought that was hysterical. That's what you can do. You don't need a black belt. You don't have to decide if they live or die. You can just walk away. It's the ancient art of run fu. Just walk away. It's the first martial art, right? Be okay with walking away from anybody that doesn't treat you the way you deserve. It's like you got negative friends on Facebook. blocked, done. That's it. Treat me well or go away. I don't care which one you do. We're done. Here's something else that was amazingly freeing that my Kung Fu instructor taught me. He said, Paul, I teach you to have honor and respect as a Kung Fu student. That honor and respect is internal to you. So you always have honor and respect. You also treat other people with honor and respect. That's perfect. Now, if anybody should ever treat you with dishonor or disrespect, that says absolutely nothing about you and tells me everything about them. See, you actually can't be disrespected. Respect is internal. You're either respectable, and that's who you are. Nobody can take that away from you, so you can't be disrespected. They can try to treat you with disrespect, but again, says nothing about you, tells you everything you need to know about that person. Don't worry if other people try to disrespect you. They're simply and very honestly showing you how small they are, how tiny they are, exactly what type of person they are. Now you can set good boundaries and you say, hey, you can't talk to me like that. That'll be enough. Or you know what? If you can't hold decent conversation, I'm going to walk away. Apparently you've just been talking at me. You can do that by yourself and I'll be over here if you need me. Just walk away. But remember, disrespect says everything about them, nothing about you. Now, bonus tip in this area, some people will use what we call passive-aggressive behaviors. They're essentially snipers. They try to take little shots. It's death by 1,000 cuts. They try to use jokes and sarcasm, and they say, oh, I didn't mean anything by it. Yeah, once again, you were perfectly showing me who you are. So remember this phrase, write down this phrase. Hey, you didn't mean to disrespect me when you said blah, 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 right? So I do two things. I call them out for their disrespect. Then I open the door, give them an out, and say, you didn't mean to disrespect me when you said, and what are they going to say? Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel bad. I was just telling a joke or blah, 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 blah. They're going to try to clean it up immediately. See, snipers can't be discovered. They have to hide behind this thin veil of humor as if they're just, I was just telling a joke. Great. Tell that same joke about your boss and see how long you got a job. Treat me with the same respect you give your boss. See how it works? So out them and maintain your boundaries, and you nailed it. Here's your next habit, your next hack, and this will create strength inside of you, resiliency inside of you, and you can even role model these people. Hang out with great people. Why would you hang out with anybody else? Hang out with people that in some way, shape, or form, they have a trait that you want, Like with my Kung Fu instructor, he was great at Kung Fu, but he was also great at philosophy. Those were two things I could really use as a young kid. My buddy Nick, he was really good at college and going to school and studying and all these techniques and strategies. And later he taught me some business and some executive level stuff. I used to hang out with Mark, and he was a CEO, and he taught me how to run organizations and, how the inner workings of corporate life really works. So these were great friends and mentors, and who you hang out with is going to determine the path of your life. They've actually done studies on this, and they found that the 5 most significant people that you hang out with, you'll roughly become the average of them. I saw another study that said, if I tested you out for your values and your belief systems, and I looked at your 5 closest friends, your values and beliefs would match with theirs in the 90 percentile. That's huge. You become what you hang out with. You're also judged by who you hang out with. So be very, very careful. I used to be loose with my friendships. If I had that one friend and he was just a crazy SOB and I said, oh, you don't understand, blah, blah, blah. He's a lot of fun and stuff like that. That was great, but it also took a hit on my reputation. So you got to be a little bit careful, especially as you get older, right? So watch who you hang out with and make sure that they bring value into your life. Here's your next hack. Always be yourself. It's the only thing you're really good at. I try to be as authentic as possible when I'm doing these videos. I mean, it's a little odd when you're talking into a camera and nobody's actually there. So sometimes I may seem a little stinted. Plus, you've always got that camera phobia a little bit, no matter how long you've been doing this. But I hope you feel my heart as I'm talking to you. You always want to be authentic with people. People have a very good sniffer, and they can smell BS. They can smell when you're being disingenuous. Oh my God, from 1,000 miles away. People are like 97% accurate with this type of stuff. It's almost like a survival mechanism. How do I know if I'm safe in front of you? If I truly know who you are, if I know your values and your beliefs, and I know exactly what kind of person you are, I know exactly how safe or unsafe I am being in the same room with you. So the human animal is very sensitive to this. They know exactly who everybody is, wow, down to the finest detail. They'll make some cognitive errors, but in general, pretty darn good at it. So be yourself and be your best self. Always try to think, what can I do that's a little nicer than that? We'll be a little bit better than that. Always constantly improving, just a little bit. If I'm thinking between two words, I say the nicer word, I say the kinder word, I say the more encouraging word. I'm not being disingenuous because I thought both of them. It's kind of like when you're giving a tip in the restaurant and you think, well, should I tip $10 or $12? Say, it's only $2. Give the extra $2. You know, if you think you overgave, next time, short somebody $2. But you usually don't feel bad about being a little bit more generous. So again, 2 numbers in your head, pick the bigger one. That's the tip. You're done. Shows a lot of good integrity. Keep your center. Be yourself. It's the best thing you can be. And with videos like this, you're getting better all the time. It's an opportunity to show your improvement. Now the next hack, and this is one I harp on a lot of my trainings. I tell you, until you can control your mind, you're not going to control anything else. So be able to control your mind and therefore be able to control your feelings. This is an amazing skill that so few people can do because they haven't even had one course, one training on how to control their emotions. People that can control their emotions in almost any situation, they are highly respected because people know that it takes a lot of strength and wisdom to control your emotions. They value it. In a lot of ways, they value it almost more than anything else. You know, nothing leaps to mind. So control your emotions and always take your time. Think things through. Don't get too excited. Look through all the angles. Do the next right thing. If you take an action that doesn't go right, that's okay. Adjust. Apologize if you need to. And jump back in. It's going to be okay. Maintain your center and you beat everybody that doesn't. And everybody will respect you because they admire control. Control is power. Here's a really powerful hack, and most people miss this. You are constantly teaching people how to treat you. Don't say this person treats me badly. Say, how did I teach that person to treat me badly? How did I give them the impression that that was okay? Why didn't I correct them when they got the misconception that it was okay not to be good to me? Think of it this way. Here's almost the whole of psychology. We move towards pleasure and away from pain. If you're nice to me, I give you pleasure. If you're mean to me, I give you pain. I at least let you know when you've made me happy and when you've made me sad. Okay? When you've done the right thing, when you've done the wrong thing. These are very simple boundaries for people. People learn through feedback. I don't want to cheat them of that. I'm just nice to people when they're nice to me. When they're rude to me, I also let them know. That's not okay. See, very few people have ever been stood up to. It's a very simple skill for me. I'm being good, kind, and loving by letting you know you're going astray. Other people, in your world, this might work, where you're mean to people and they just let it go by. You know why they let it go by? Because you're too grouchy, you're too mean, and they don't want to be hassled. They're also very weak. They don't have enough strength to stand up to you. I do. I'll stand up to anybody. I tell you that. President of the United States. Excuse me, Mr. President. And then tell them how it's going to be. You can do this with anybody when you decide you're as valuable as anybody else. And because you are living your only life and you have to live from your center, you got to be a little selfish. Your life is as important as everybody else plus a little bit more. Because you're never going to live anybody else's life. You're going to live yours. So you have to treat it as if it's valuable and stand up for who you are. Now, You got to pick your battles too. Sometimes, somebody won't listen to you. The definition of insanity is talking to a wall, talking to somebody who's not listening. So a lot of times if I think the person won't learn from it or they won't listen, I just let it go. They lose the lesson. They continue to make these social errors, but I'm going to let it go. They're just not worth my time. I'm not mad about it. I'm not upset about it. I'm also not going to help them with it. Hey, they're not paying me as their therapist. So sometimes I just let it go. Hey, if you're enjoying this content, if you're getting a lot of benefit, go ahead and like and subscribe, especially subscribe, because then you get notified when we've got fresh content. We're putting out fresh content all the time to help you. We've gone over so much content. I just want to give you a quick summary, and that'll help to lock the learning in. So let me go through my list. Respect yourself first. Value your needs and feelings above all else. 2, set clear boundaries. Know what you will and won't accept and communicate that clearly. 3, change your sorry to thank you. Use sorry only when truly accountable, and appreciate others instead of apologizing unnecessarily. 4, show up with confidence. Use body language, good posture, eye contact, and purposeful movements. 5, be a little mysterious. Don't overshare plans, struggles, or your personal life. Let your actions speak for themselves. 6, value your time like gold. Don't be too easily available. Make your time seem precious, because it is. 7, embrace the power of silence. Take a beat before responding. Don't rush to fill quiet moments. 8, be ready to walk away. Don't tolerate bad treatment. Show you won't stick around for it. You won't put up with it. I'm out of here. 9, look at actions, not just words. Don't take disrespect personally. Understand it's just a projection. Says a lot about the other person, nothing about you. 10, surround yourself with great people. Choose inspiring company over those who bring you down. 11, stand up in your authenticity. Be your true self, your whole self, accepting all your parts and sharing that with others. 12, manage your emotions smartly. Don't react impulsively. Find healthy outlets and think before you act. 13, final tip, understand how you teach people. You teach people how to treat you. You are constantly setting the standard for how other people will treat you by your actions, reactions, and sometimes your inactions. So let me ask you a question. Which one of these hacks are you going to try first? I would take 1 or 2, master them, take a week or so, practice them over and over and over again. You can practice a skill a lot in just 7 days. And if you're doing 2 of them at a time, within like 6 weeks, you'll have complete and utter mastery. In about a month and a half, you'll have a mastery that most people can go from the cradle to the grave, from the womb to the tomb, and they will never possess. It will give you confidence, authority, poise, and power. That's what you need. It was always sitting there for you. Now look, was any one of these tools, strategies, or techniques complicated? Was any of these beyond you? Do them one at a time. Don't let them overwhelm you, and you'll do fantastic. My name is Professor Paul. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my very next training.